Hey you guys, welcome back. So today, you can probably tell this is looking a little bit odd and different. We're gonna be tackling this area of my makeup collection. So it's been a very long time, if ever. I don't think I've ever done really a declutter of makeup in general, and especially of foundations. So this beautiful vanity is what you see in every single one of my videos. It's the background. So now we're looking at a different angle. So this is basically if I'm sitting in front of my vanity, this is kind of like my view. This area I have all my foundations and most of my primers, and then in this area over here, this other one, I have my brushes and setting sprays and prepping sprays, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna pull everything out of here. We're gonna concentrate today only in foundations and base products, so foundations, skin tints, all that good stuff. I'm gonna leave the primers for a different time. I do want to get this tackled because you can probably tell back here they're like foundations stacked up on each other, so it doesn't fit. So I want to clean up and then see what I can get rid of. It's probably not going to be significant because I don't know, I feel like getting rid of makeup just because you're not rotating it as much is a waste. I already bought all of this and I think I like most of them. That's why I need to kind of like pull everything out, look at them and see what I really discover. But for the most part, don't expect like a big declutter because that's not really what it is. I'm not a minimalist. I don't get PR, so everything is bought by me. So all of this is my money just sitting there. So I'll see how much I can declutter. If, a few things, I can probably some of them are going to be tossed because they're too old, or maybe passed on to a couple of friends. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe and also hit the little bell so you get notified every time that I post on my channel. So let's go ahead and move on with pulling everything out and show you everything that I have. So here we have all of the high-end foundations. They're falling. I do have a lot of them. I wasn't expecting, now that I see them all out, they are a lot of foundations. And it's very surprising because I use my foundations all the time. I always wear a full face. The thing is, in the past 2 years, of course, I haven't done my makeup every day like I would in the past before the pandemic. Now I'll do a full face at least 3 times a week, if not maybe more. So because of that, I feel like I haven't touched them as much, or they still look pretty full. Like this one, I think it comes all the way up to here. This foundation is super old. Here is a collection of cruelty-free and non-cruelty-free. I do want to get rid of the non-cruelty-free at some point, but I think it's just wasteful if I just get rid of them right now because there's still a lot of product in them. If you're not familiar with my channel, I switched to cruelty-free only around, I want to say we're coming to a year. So I do have still a lot of product that is not cruelty-free. I don't showcase it in my channel anymore, so you're gonna see them here in this decluttering series, but I'm not going to showcase them in like my regular days of channel or like videos. I do still use them in my regular life, just not showcase them. And I haven't bought, of course, anything that's not cruelty-free in almost a year. I do see a couple of them here that are not the perfect match. I feel like they're a little darker for me. So I'm kind of like gonna put them on this side. We've got these 3 for sure. And then there was some kind of issue with Tantidol. I can't remember just yet, but something regarding, you can see how this one is like super, super yellow. And I bought, because I really liked it. This was, I don't know, I had this probably for around, the new one for around 2 years. This one way longer. This one was too dark and too yellow, so I went on and got color matched with that one. And you can see they're significant yellow and more neutral, lighter. So this one is probably going to be on the maybe, but I'm going to keep it here. The ones that I'm not sure, like color-wise, I'm going to keep them on this side. I don't think you can see them, so let me put them a little more on this side. So yeah, this pile, we'll go over them in a minute. Next, I have some of my favorite foundations from Charlotte Tilbury, or all of them really are my favorite. Light Wonder, I've got it in the shade 7 medium, and the rest are gonna be 6 neutral. So 7 is definitely a little bit dark for me, but it's perfect for the summer, which usually is whenever I use this foundation the most. I'm gonna keep it, but know that all of these 3 I really love with all my heart. They're like for different occasions and different kind of like moods. Whenever I want a full matte coverage, I'll go with this one. Whenever I want a super beautiful, super extremely glowy foundation, we go for Light Wonder, and then for like my everyday, I found that the Beautiful Skin, the brand new one, is just perfection. So these three are of course staying. I would never get rid of my Charlotte Tilbury. They are like my favorite thing in the world. I also have here the Lisa Eldridge. This is one of my newest additions. It is a beautiful bottle, but unfortunately it's a little tricky to stand on its own, so I have to keep it in the box. This one I like to mix with more glowy primers, but it's beautiful. It's not my favorite, but it's a really good one. So we'll put it over here because it's a little big. We have the foundation that I'll probably never get rid of because this is the foundation I got married in by Givenchy. It's already discontinued, but it will live in my collection forever. A couple of skin tints, or the only skin tint that I have here high-end is the newest from Rose Inc. I really like it. I did find that this might be a little dark for me, but with just one, I guess with just one layer, it works good. And I feel like it'll be good for whenever I get a little bit more color during the summer. The thing with me is I never am in the sun. So I always wear 24/7 or every time I'm outside as my morning routine, I wear sunscreen, and whenever I know I'm going in the sun, I reapply constantly. So usually my skin color doesn't change as much. But with one shade, with one layer, it'll be good. I've got another one here that's non-cruelty free, the Reboot foundation. I love this one for mixing with my more darker foundations because this one is in fact a little bit lighter, so you can see like the difference in shade. So this one is extremely dark, this is the Dior one, and then this one is pretty light. So usually I'll wear these two together. I'll do most of this foundation and then just apply a tiny drop, or maybe like one drop of this one, and then make my perfect foundation. So it'll be staying with me. So I'll just put it here. We have here a very old one. You can see that it's separating, but I like this foundation so much I barely use it because it's non-existent anymore. This is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfection Foundation. It is a beautiful one. I love it. It's gonna be one of those similar to the Light Wonder that's going to be super glowy. So I love, love, love this foundation. I need to use it a little bit more. I recall that this bottle, like the dropper, is it's pretty weird to use, but the foundation just makes up for it. So I'm gonna keep it forever because I love it. I need to use it a little bit more. I just honestly did not remember I had it in my collection, which is very sad. Then we've got the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot. This one, I haven't used it also in a long time. I kind of like start gravitating towards the newest ones, and then I keep forgetting that I had other ones. So anyway, another one that's not the perfect shade for me, it's gonna be from Fenty. This one is the Pro Filter, and I've got mine in the shade 260. This one is a little bit darker, but I can make it work, like mixing it with, for instance, the Reboot. So, oh my goodness, this looks like I'm not gonna get rid of anything, but I think I'm going to pass on the yellow, the yellow one, which is going to be this one. And I did use it most. You can see it's almost down to here. So I'm gonna get rid of the Lancome Tinted Oil in the darker shade. By the way, this one is the 280 Bisque warm, and I got this one, surprisingly it's darker, but it's not darker, the 320 Bisque warm. Another one that is a little bit dark for my complexion right now is the Huda Beauty. I don't believe Huda Beauty is cruelty free, so the ones that have a little this little marking are going to be the ones that I'm gonna try to see if I can make them work. If not, I'll just get rid of them, but these are like basically maybes. Then I forgot to mention the two that I have here. This is the Kat Von D, the Good Apple Foundation. This one is in the shade Medium 039. The shade is good, but I feel like it might have been one lighter, would have been a little bit better. But I still love it. And then I've got my Dermablend Cover Cream in the shade Golden Beige, which is another one that at the moment is a little dark, but I really, really love it for covering everything, like for my white patches in my skin, for my face. So these two, of course, are staying. I know it doesn't seem like I did anything but get rid of one foundation, which is this one so far, the more yellow toned of this. But I do have three in my maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back in the little, it's not like a drawer, in here, and then I'll pull out the drugstore ones. So here is my little drugstore stash. I don't have as many compared to the high end. A lot of these are very, very old. So I am going to put a little sticker on the ones that I either need to use up or just get rid of if I'm not grabbing towards them. including the L'Oreal, this Physicians Formula. Oh, I for sure need to get rid of this Maybelline, the Bronze BB. I've had this for years at this point. Expiration date, it says 0317. That's how old this foundation is. So I need to get rid of it for sure. I do want to get a similar product to this. I have on my eye the Drunk Elephant. I believe it's, I don't know, the one that's like the drops that are like bronzy drops. I have that on my eye for the spring. So I'm going to get rid of the Maybelline. Then we have here a couple of more. I wasn't loving at the beginning the CoverGirl, but then I ended up liking it. So I'm going to put just the same as I did on the high end. I'm going to put a sticker on the ones that I kind of want to use and then figure out what I'm going to do with them. I honestly think that this Physicians Formula is super dark. So I'm going to make a point of using it during this week. And then, because look at that. Can you see the comparison of the shades? This is extremely dark and this is like the perfect color match. So I'm going to put a little note basically on the ones that I need to get rid of or consider using. One of my favorite foundations from the drugstore is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This one is super dark for me now. It's almost empty at this point. This one is number 05 Warm Beige. And then I've got a new shade in the shade 03 Light Beige. But I feel like the light beige is also a little bit light for me. So I actually like to use this together and they give me a way better match. So this one is 3 and this one is 5. I wonder if they have a number 4. I would probably love that shade. Because both of these just don't work. But together they definitely make a better match. I do want to get the Drunk Elephant product. So I'm going to also get rid of this L'Oreal True Match Lumic Lotion. Just because this is gonna be the same product. I'm not gonna lie, this is a product that I didn't use very often, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of having a more bronzy base to either mix with foundations or just whenever I wanna go for a no makeup day, but I want my skin to look a little bit more glowy and bronzy. So I'll get rid of this one. This one is relatively new, probably bought in the last 2 years or so. So I think I'm just gonna part with this to give it to a friend, and then if she uses it, good. If not, you know, that's gonna be on her. But this is not expired at all. It's relatively newish compared to a lot of these things. So the rest of the foundations, I don't really want to speak about them because they're relatively new. So my Milani Glow, it's just a skin tint that I just recently bought, and I think that you're gonna be watching, by the time this video comes up, a review on this one. It's super new. I'm still trying it out. So it's gonna stay, of course. And then my Catrice was one of my top favorite foundations from last year. So it's not going anywhere. You can see how much I've used. Not too much. Again, I don't know why my foundations don't get as much use because I use them all the time. But somehow the product is still there. Okay, I'm lying. I do know why. Because I have a ton of product. So I use them. I rotate them constantly. I'm also going to put a little mark on, or a little dot here on the CoverGirl to see if I like it. I can't remember anymore because first I didn't like it, then I liked it. I don't know how I feel about it right now. It's been a couple of months that I haven't used it, so that'll remind me. I love my Flower Light Illusion. I probably have used around this much. I think that's kind of like what you can see. But it's a really good one. I love this foundation, and the color match is perfect. So I'm rearranging the foundations. I'm going to put on the very back the ones that I know that I love for sure, and I'm going to put on the very front the ones that I'm going to try to use and see if I want to keep them or get rid of them, you know, depending in color and whatnot. So those are just going to go in the front. And I'm gonna put all of them in drugstore and high-end. By the way, I do have 17 high-end foundations, and I'm getting rid of one. So the Lancome, the darker one, is going away. So I'll remain with 16 foundations, which is so much. I almost forgot this little guy. This one is by Maybelline. This is one of those stick foundations I never use. I've basically never used. You can see how little I've used it. So I'm gonna get rid of it because it's extremely old and I just never got around liking this kind of product. Like cream, 2 foundations are just a no for me. So originally I had 11 drugstore products between the bronzy and the foundations. I'm gonna get rid of 3 of them drugstore and then 1 high-end. So I know it's not a lot, but it's definitely something that I'm working on. I'm working on using up, or realizing if I want to keep the ones that have a little a little marking on them. If I don't like them, then I'll get rid of them, or if the color doesn't match, I'll get rid of them. But for the most part, everything else I do really like. So I'm just gonna get rid of this 4, and what I'm going to do to make everything a little bit better on me, I am going to keep only in here my foundations. We'll be doing my primers a different day. I'm gonna film that probably today, but it'll be like a 2-part just because it's so much and I talk a lot. So I'll do the primers next, but I'm gonna keep them in a different space, not in here. Here's a better view at how the foundations are looking now. So I've always had them stored in this little section of my vanity. I just love to have them all sitting upright. I don't know, it's not ideal because you can't see them all, but I know what I have for the most part, and I just like them to be standing so I can know how much product I've actually used up. So before we get going, I'm actually going to just straight up get rid of another one. This is going to be the Healthy Foundation by Physicians Formula. This is just really dark. You can just tell how dark this foundation is next to just my hand. It's a foundation that's super old at this point, that I don't think I should keep using it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I feel like foundations never break me up, but I want to be more conscious in what I have and what I put in my face. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. I used to really like it, but I haven't touched it in years at this point. So just looking at how dark it is and just thinking about all that, I was just like, do I really need to keep another foundation? I legit have over 20 foundations, so there's no need to keep this one. So I'm gonna declare this one as well. Here is a final count and final look at how the foundation little station is. A total of 23 foundation. It's still a crazy amount, but I want to go over, you know, the ones that with the little spots and then decide if I want to keep them or not. For now, I have now 16 high-end foundations from 17 that I had. I only got rid of 1. And then Drugstore, originally I had 11 and now I kept 7 of them. So hopefully during the next couple of months I downsize from the ones that have the little sticker. Either I realized I don't like them or the color match just did not work. So for now, 23, it's not ideal, but we'll make it work. Next video we're gonna be battling my primers. I don't have a lot of primers, but I know I have a lot of those itty bitty sample size that I know I never use, and they're just taking space in my drawers. So I want to clean that out so I can actually put all of my primers in there. I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna do it, if I'm gonna stick here a couple of those bigger primers or I'm just gonna go direct to my drawer set and put them there. We'll figure it out in a different video, but for now that's gonna be everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, it was more of like a collection really compared to a declutter, but we did get rid of a total of 5 products between the bronzy BB creams and foundations. So that's not bad if you ask me. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!